Okay. Essentially, what I've been fascinated about in the world is how cameras were invented and how it transforms, is able to transmit one image or one form of idea to the next. Usually, I would say almost exactly. And it fascinates me. So I began to read about cameras and how images are produced. Yeah, so it also tells me esoterically, in terms of esoteric knowledge, how people could distribute themselves at one moment in time, but they are in several places at the same time. Yeah, the mind travels far, and so if we use image to transport our ideas and our images for others to reach us beyond the limit to which they can, I think is a great idea, and it should be used and implemented in learning. So for me, using such gadgets for educational purposes is a great idea. It's laudable. We should applaud it. It is not only students who are learning instantaneously, but it can also transmit these ideas across the length and the breadth of the world in time, and then people who are not familiar with such discourses or such event in the world could get more information, and then the human life is improved or will be improved.
Very good.
So yeah,
and then overall, the Foundations of African Thought class, what did you think of the class? What reflections do you have?
So Foundation of African Thought class, I have said that we should do more to replicate this in every sphere of our learning. Imagine sociology, they are doing Foundation of African Thought, philosophy, Foundation of African Thought, etc. Even new disciplines like computers, learning computer, doing Foundation of African Thought. We could implement some of these ideas that we've learned from there and create our own system, re-engineer the system and create our own system for the betterment of our lives. Imagine going to Ghana Commercial Bank or any of the banks around. You go there and the net is down. It's very appalling, and it does not only hinder our progress financially, but in terms of the building up of our ideas and to improve upon our ideas, it's not something that we are paying much attention to. And I think that Foundation of African Thought, for me as an individual, is a quest that I must build on. It's something that I must look. It has answered most of the questions that used to bog me down mentally, but it has given me a wider scope, broadened my horizon on most of the things or the questions that I used to ask daily. And I think that it should be replicated across the disciplines. We should have Foundation of African Thought in every aspect of our studies as university students. If you don't know the very basis on which your life is built, you can't be building somebody else or somebody else's life. And I think that that's what, in summary, Foundation of African Thought is about. It's about who we are, what we are, and where we are going. It's important. It's prudent that we take that up and do a lot to it. So I was advocating that we as students should be able to appeal to our university council through writing and signatory staking. And first, from where we are, the director of the Institute of African Studies, we sell that idea that we want this course to be a core course, not just an elective. It should be. Imagine over the years, and when I was doing my master's, we look at social and political systems. which were basically written by African European anthropologists. Miles Fortes, Miles Fortes and co. And we have not delved into our own intellectual analysis of our own systems of thinking. And if we are to deconstruct our world and reconstruct it, then we need to focus on the African system of thinking, not one that is built and constructed by Europeans. Yes, it's good that some of those ideas are picked as bits and pieces to solve the jigsaw puzzles of our life. But essentially, let's just build on where our life is and then grow up from there.
If you are going to summarize the course in one single word, what would that word be?
In one single word, the African thought. I would call it a web of ideas. A web of ideas. In that, Kamalu brings a lot of things to bear on that scholarly aspect, which for me was building as a system of thought. So the idea of a web comes in. By this I refer to a spider web. Of course, you can say that it is this that has been borrowed into the system of the net system that has been created. But if I have to build on any ideas, it's
Akoto, Akwe, Medasi.